Ravens Nation, stay tuned because a bombshell is coming. Today we're going to talk about a bombshell that could completely change the fate of the Baltimore Ravens in 2026. Today the Ravens are at the center of a move that could strengthen their offensive line in a way no one expected. Reinforced offensive force, movement in the backfield, and a line that wants to destroy. You need to see this. And at the end, tell me in the comments. Is this team ready to go far in 2026? Now let's get to the content. The Ravens' urgent need at center. First of all, if you haven't liked the video yet, do it now and ring the company bell so you don't miss any hot analysis about the NFL. Now tell me in the comments, do you follow the Ravens' offensive line or do you only pay attention to Lamar? Tell me, because today this segment will open your eyes to something very important. Content. Guys, the Ravens' situation at center is, without exaggeration, one of the most urgent in the entire NFL right now. After Tyler Linderbaum, yes, that center Lamar Jackson loved, the guy who got everyone on the right track before the snap, left for the Raiders, the hole left in the middle of Baltimore's offensive line is huge. And the front office, led by GM Eric DeCosta, seems to be having trouble finding an adequate solution. Do you know what that means in practice? It means Lamar is exposed. It means the running game, which is the soul of the Ravens' offense, is compromised. And it means the 2026 season could start off shaky even before kickoff. The coaching staff and the GM have already spoken with several experienced professionals in the league, trying to find a solution. Trade options with the Raiders themselves, who ironically now have depth at the position thanks to Linderbaum, have been explored. Conversations with teams like the Browns have also entered the radar. But nobody wants to give up a center, even if he's the last on the roster. And it's understandable, right? The position is critical on any team. Veteran free agents were also evaluated, but apparently DeCosta wasn't very excited about any of them. Proof of this is that with the team's organized activities already underway, no new names arrived at the training complex. That speaks volumes. So, what's left? What hasn't been explored the way it should be? The answer may be right under their noses, and it's a player from Maryland with NFL blood running through his veins, who went through an injury but is almost fully recovered. An undrafted prospect who, in the view of veteran evaluators, has everything to be a starter in the league. His name is Luke Pettitbon. And before you close the video thinking this is just talk from an unknown player with no future, listen to what I have to tell you. Because this kid's story is impressive. Pettitbon played at Gonzaga and transitioned to the center position at Wake Forest, where his technical mastery of the snap and pre-snap protection evolved by leaps and bounds. He was selected to the first All-ACC team at the position, one of the most competitive conferences in American college football. In terms of physique, he doesn't have the dimensions of a giant. He's around 6'3" and 220 lbs. But this standard of measurements is nothing new for the Ravens. Remember Linderbaum when he came out of college? Similar size, gigantic impact. But what really catches the attention of the scouts who watched his videos is not just his performance, it's his intelligence. A veteran league evaluator said the following about Pettitbon, and look at that powerful phrase. This kid could be a coach one day. It's like having a coach on the field. Think about what that means. A center who understands the game to such an extent that he can put the quarterback on the right play even before the ball is snapped. That's exactly what Lamar Jackson had with Linderbaum. And that's exactly what the Ravens missed out on. The same evaluator was even more direct when comparing Pettitbon to Linderbaum's data from the college draft. Some teams will see him as just a center and pass him by. But put the videos of him against the best defensive players in the ACC over the last 2 years. Walter Nolan, whoever you want. This kid competes. And there's more. This young man's family legacy is impressive. Luke's grandfather, Richie Pettitbon, is a living legend of American football, an NFL player and Super Bowl-winning defensive coordinator. American football isn't a hobby in the Pettitbon family. It's genetics. It's a philosophy of life. It's a culture passed down from generation to generation. Luke grew up in Annapolis, studied at Gonzaga, a school with a solid sporting and academic tradition, and has a brother who played offensive line at Alabama, the Ravens' favorite university when it comes to recruiting talent. This brother even became an immediate leader upon arriving at Florida State after he is about to transfer from Wake Forest. The whole family exudes competitiveness and professionalism. And why is he available? Because of an injury. There were concerns about a possible tear in his pectoral muscle after pre-draft workouts. But, according to sources close to the situation, there was no tear. The procedure performed was successful, and the expectation is that Pettitbon will be fit for physical exams by mid-June. In other words, he's almost ready. The timing isn't perfect. Mid-June coincides with the end of minicamps, when coaches and GMs usually take vacations. But if the Ravens don't solve the problem before then, and let's be honest, the tendency is that they won't, then Luke Pettitbon needs to be at the top of their list of monitored injured players. Period. One evaluator was even more categorical. I looked at their roster. Pettitbon is better than Corey Bullock, the undrafted free agent from Maryland they have. Pettitbon is their starting center, right there. And between you and me, after everything you've just heard, do you think the Ravens still have an excuse not to keep an eye on this kid? I don't think so. Oh, and one more detail that makes all this even more interesting. Grandfather Richie Pettitbon is a legend in Washington. It wouldn't be surprising if the Commanders tried to sign him before the Ravens. And the last thing the Baltimore front office wants is to see a talent of this caliber, with an emotional connection to Maryland, wearing the colors of their rival across the Beltway. He started all 12 games of the Seminoles last season at center. And anyone who understands American football knows that consistency as a starter in such a technical position, in a conference as competitive as the ACC, is worth far more than any draft capital spent on a big name. Luke Pettitbon fulfills all the requirements for an immediate signing. He's from Maryland, has an emotional connection to the region and to the Ravens. He has NFL blood in his veins. His grandfather was a Super Bowl champion as a coordinator. He was a first-team All-ACC center. His technical profile is comparable to Linderbaum's right out of college. He's recovering well from a procedure that wasn't a rupture and should be ready soon. Veteran evaluators who have seen his videos say he could be a starter in the NFL right now. If Eric DeCosta isn't at the top of his priority list, someone needs to make an urgent call to Owings Mills. And if you were the Ravens GM, would you sign Pettitbon? Tell me in the comments below. This is exactly the kind of debate we love to have here. And that concludes today's analysis. But before you go, let me ask you one thing. Like this video now and ring the company bell. Each activated notification helps me continue bringing this level of analysis to you for free. And answer the question we promised at the beginning in the comments. With all these moves on the offensive line, is this Ravens team ready to go far in 2026? Do you believe in Pettitbon as the solution? Let us know. We read and respond to every comment. Until the next analysis, and go for it, Ravens Nation.